Good evening, everyone. Today is April 19th, 2020. It's been a few months since my last recording. Now is a perfect time to restart again that everyone is being quarantined at home because of the pandemic. So today I would like to share with you another episode of my machine learning journey. So today I would like to talk about how can you create a package that people can install with PIP on your hosted GitHub repo. So let's take a look. What are the topics that I would like to talk about? So just ignore this Trump picture for a moment. It's just like a heritage from my previous forked repo. So I would like to talk about firstly, so how can you set up the package structure on GitHub repo so it can be created as a package people can install. So there are two main things that you should take note of. One is you need to create a separate folder with the package name that you want to create inside the root directory. The second one is you need to create a setup Python file outside of the newly created package folder, but inside your original folder. And then you need to also set up some properties inside this Python file, which I will be showing shortly. The second one is inside the newly created folder, you need to create a init Python file. So with this file, it will make your folder become a Python package. And the third thing I would like to show is how you can make your newly created GitHub repo in a requirements text. So in a new app that you create, that you can use pip install the requirements text for your newly created package. So I will be also showing this shortly. The last one I would like to talk about is what is the difference that you need to do for a public repo versus a private repo. So the reference post I use for this topic is this thread. So this thread is hosted on the website dev.to. So it says how to create a pip package hosted on private GitHub repo. So I'm actually going to show as well what if it's actually a public GitHub repo. So I guess this is usually the most common case. So it's very straightforward as illustrated on this repo. The first step you need to do is actually create a folder with the package name that you want to create. So here, as you can see, it's in the next, so make directory package name. And then you need to go into this newly created folder and then make this folder as a Git repo with a Git version control. So which is Git init. So you can see that it initialize the version control Git for this folder. And then you see that actually within this folder, you need to create another folder. So it's a subfolder within the original folder. So these two folders actually has netted structure with the they're all with the same name as the package name. So, but then you need to also create a separate setup Python file, and then another inner file, which is init, inside that newly created folder. So therefore, when you need to create this other folder with the package name here, and then you create the new setup Python file as well as the init Python file over here. So touch in Linux means that you're creating an empty file with the file name. And then, so this is a step that actually does commit. So git commit, so which stage your recent change of the folder and commit the changes. And then actually this step you don't really need because this is just the author wants to test if it's working. But usually you don't really need to write anything in this init Python file, but then you can of course create other Python files with the classes that you want to use and also define other functions. So I'm gonna also show shortly that how I did it with one of my public hosted package. So within this setup Python file that you created empty, that you should author this command. So from setup tools, you import setup, and then within the setup function that you want to execute, you should specify what is the, so this is pretty much a configure file for your package. And then, so firstly, you need to specify what is the name of your package. And then, so what is the version now? And then a description, and also the Git URL. So you can actually see that this URL, because it's git@github.com, which means that it's by SSH. So if it's not private repo, you can actually just use HTTPS. So where you can find this URL is under the, so if you open, let's say, so this is the Python package that I created. So you can see that within this package, so you can see this green button, which is clone or download. So you just click on it, and then you can see that there's options that if you want to clone with SSH, so if it's a SSH, then you actually are using a password protected SSH key. So it starts with the one that you just saw, which is git@github.com, and then your URL. But if you're using, so you can also have the option of use HTTPS. So now that you see that with HTTPS, you just have it started with HTTPS// and so on. So then this one doesn't really have that SSH protection for a public repo. So so this is where you actually can get the URL. And then you can specify who is the author, that you yourself, and then your email, your contact method, and what is the license, and so forth. So after you have make the setup file ready, so you can commit it again, this change that you have just made, and then you can start to push this newly made changes back to your GitHub repo. So now with all these new changes, then your GitHub repo become a package now that hopefully people can install with PIP now. So this is the way that after you make all that changes, updates to your GitHub repo, so people can now download or install your package with pip install. So because on this post, it's a private repo, so therefore it's showing that you're using pip install git SSH to install the package. But of course, like what I said, if it's a public repo, you can just use the HTTPS URL to get to pip install the package as well. So you can just click this this button. So you will see that. So it says that after you click on it, then it will say that the URL has been copied, and then so you can just paste on your command line or any terminal that you opened here, and then so now you can see that it's gonna install it. So this is pretty much then the testings about how to pip install it. So you can also see that if you're actually installing the new package into an app that you are creating with the requirements.txt file, you can also pip freeze requirements.txt, then you will see that this package that you just installed will show up on your requirements.txt, which is with the version that you specify in your setup file. And then you can also for sure that if you don't want to specify your newly installed package like this way, you can also just replace this package version with the version by the URL that you how you actually install with the pip install. So here, because it's a private repo, so therefore it's using the SSH URL. But as I said, if it's a public repo, you can just copy the HTTPS URL over here to your requirements.txt file over here. And then there you go. So it's pretty straightforward. So hopefully that can help your project. So I find it pretty actually excited when I tried it this afternoon. There you go. So you can write something that people can download and install. Isn't that feeling great? So, okay, so that's it for today, I guess. Please looking forward to my next update. I think I'm gonna get back to the regular update now with the more work from home schedules. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.